Alright, hello everyone, what's up? It's Master Ordered here, and welcome to the very first E3 2016 press conference video. In this one, I am going to be talking about EA. Now, originally I was thinking about it like 2 seconds ago. I was thinking about doing both EA and Bethesda in this one video, but decided not to because just for the facts that way I can keep my information separate and so I don't screw anything up, yada yada yada. So, but the problem is that there's so little for me to talk about because there wasn't really a lot that interested me in both EA and Bethesda. I'm just throwing that out there. Like, these first two aren't really gonna excite my interest. You know what I mean? Like, but let's get started right away. I do have my list here. And note that I actually am still currently working with the Nintendo stuff. I'm still looking over it, and I've seen a lot of Zelda stuff, and I'm very excited. Like, I've been fanboying a lot about Zelda, just to let you know. But enough of the chatter. Let's get right into this. So EA. One thing first I got to say about EA. EA makes a lot of sports games. I'm not a big sports person anymore. Basically meaning that I played sports games back in the day with my dad, when he did play video games, because around my time he was still kind of young. Like, I'm not saying like he's old, I'm just saying like he's just kind of getting there. Like, nowadays, like, I'm just saying, like, oh, he never sees this. but seriously, like, back in the day, he used to play games with me, and that's usually what we play. We play football a lot. Occasionally, from time to time, I'll play a football game, like, here and there, but I won't, like, fanboy over it. Like, the only football games I have are, like, the very, very old Maddens from the very first Xbox. So that was kind of the problem with me. So whenever EA would dive into basically their sports games, their FIFAs, their Maddens, their NBAs, like, I was just like, okay, it's a stupid bug. Can I just get to see what I want to see and be done? Because really, they don't really show me a whole lot. So there's like a few games that interest me from them. But once I got passed through all the kind of niche sports stuff, they showed off Titanfall 2. I want to say, if I remember correctly, I think it was both gameplay and also some cinematics. Right now it's vague right now on my mind, but interesting about Titanfall is that in the original one, I was interested in it, and I've played a wide variety of shooters, like a very wide variety of first-person shooters, and Titanfall was pretty much the only one I could probably be very, very good at, because if you know me in real life and you see me play first-person shooters, I'm horrible at them. I completely suck at them, and some of my friends could literally tell you that. Whenever I would play like a Call of Duty game, I would be horrible at it. There are some points where I'm good at them, but Titanfall was like one of those very rare gems where I would be very, very good at them, and I was very good at being the pilot instead of being the Titan. I'd be good at like Titans down, but I was never really good at playing them because I felt they were like just too clunky, and I just couldn't do what I could do, like, unlike the pilot where I could just pretty much go up against the walls and that type of stuff. Then they showed off Titanfall 2, and with the very first reveal, I was interested because they showed that the Titans would have swords, and knowing me, as a person, I am a big sword fanatic. I love the idea of using swords in battle. Of course, we live in a modern day where we use guns, but still, that's what books and TV and anime is for. Let's be honest here. So I like the idea that they were going to use like swords as a type of new element in the game, and I thought it would be like very, very interesting to use. I don't think we saw any type of gameplay with that at E3. I could be completely wrong right now. The information is vague right now in my mind. So there was that where they showed a lot of cinematics and probably some gameplay that's probably slipping on the line. They also went on to showing a story campaign, and one of the things that disappointed me about the original Titanfall game was that the story I felt was very, very disappointing, the way that they were implementing it with basically online and stuff. And this one, for Titanfall 2, it seems like they're taking this one very seriously, with it not being what it was, basically acting like a traditional story campaign. And the idea of it, what it's trying to do, it's an okay thing. But that's really all I gotta say about Titanfall. I'm like trying to make sure I have every thought of what I want to say, just to let y'all know. But that's really all I gotta say about Titanfall. Next up is Mass Effect Andromeda. They didn't show like very, very like big things for it. They just show some good things, like a tiny bit of gameplay. The visuals for the game are really, really looking nice. It just surprises me how far the PlayStation, the Xbox have gone since my time with the original Xbox and PS1. That's the era I grew up in. Playing games for the very first time was PlayStation 1, Xbox original. And of course, like some of the old Nintendo game, like handheld games, like the Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy Color, Type Day. Of course, everyone that I knew growing up was more into the Nintendo old scene with the GameCube and such. But it blows my mind how far that they've gone so far. And I know PC is like probably 5-10 years ahead of us with all the graphics cards that they make, and it's ridiculous. I will say that. But Mass Effect Andromeda, from what I saw, it was most likely showing off like behind the scenes stuff of them doing like basically the animations, doing the areas, and we actually did see some areas like rendered in the game. It looked very, very nice. We didn't see like a whole lot of gameplay, like combat action. There was at one scene where the main character seemed like that he was shooting or she was shooting some type of animal or some type of monster, and it just cuts away. So that's really all we got to see, like kind of gameplay-ish, that I would say. And then we saw like some space combat. Well, not space combat. What am I talking about? Some space with some ships, which looked very, very nice with the lighting and the dynamic that they had it in. But really, that's all they showed for Mass Effect Andromeda. I believe they said that they'll show more in fall. So I'm very interested to see more from Mass Effect Andromeda. To give you kind of a note, I didn't really fully play the Mass Effect series. I did touch upon it like a couple times. There was at one point where my brother actually was going to buy it for, I believe, like Christmas or birthday. The reason he was asking me for it because he honestly didn't know what I wanted. It was most likely a birthday. He was asking me if I wanted to get the Mass Effect collection, and I said I didn't really know. I went with something else. I've completely at this point I completely forgot what I actually went for, but it wasn't Mass Effect. But I still appreciate for what Mass Effect is. It's a very good game. And now here's a new IP, and this one actually really calls out to another game that looked very, very close to it in art style and the way that it just kind of looked. And the game is called Fe, which is spelled F-E. The game is where you play as a young cub and you really don't know anything, and you're in this dark forest, and it's a very, very dark, cartoonish looking game. It visually looks very nice. I do like cartoon games, especially nowadays how they look. And one of the key things that really caught me was the thing that each animal that you interact with, where you can interact with basically through song echo kind of thing. It's very hard to explain it, but basically through sounds and stuff. And it reminded me like the basically like the mechanic in Journey, where you would press a button and you would hear, like, you would kind of yell kind of deal. It reminded me of that. And then they kind of got into the whole idea of what the enemies are, like the silent ones. Really, I can already picture like what they're trying to deal with. Basically, forest setting. Basically, communicate through music. And silent ones, basically quote unquote humans. That's immediately what I got from it. It was like, you're playing in a small forest, you're playing in a dark forest as a cub, and you're going around interacting with different animals through music, and then you stumble across humans who pretty much will probably decimate the forest. That's pretty much what it seems like. But still, it is a very interesting idea. The animals look very, very interesting. The art style looks very interesting. The concept of music through communication for music. Sorry, I stutter a lot, so forgive me. So everything about it looked very, very interesting. I just wish we could have saw a little bit more of it. I think they did do a stage demo of it, which looked very, very nice. But generally, that was it. Like I'm saying that EA and Bethesda are not going to really show me anything. Like, at least right now, Bethesda has not shown me a whole lot, unlike last year. But EA, I thought it was very meh. Like, if it wasn't for the sports aspect, I probably would have said it would be okay. But since that EA is sports, it's just very meh to me. And the only reason I watched the conference, so I noticed my papers were actually falling. So let me put these over here. It's actually some of my work that I'm doing, like other stuff for work. So really, it was very meh. It probably would have wowed me a lot better if I was a sports fan. If you're a sports fan, then EA would probably blow you away. But for me, I just get the games I see, and then I basically leave. That's pretty much how it is. It's pretty much, you walk into a game store, you get what you want, and from what you hear and all this other stuff you see, you buy it and then you leave. That's pretty much how I am with EA. So really, I thought the conference in general was very meh. There really is nothing else to talk about for EA. If you did watch the conference, tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think about it? Are you a big sports fan? Were you impressed by them? Do you think they were very meh? Next up, we will be talking about Bethesda, which would be very disappointing. Like, because I do have a lot of things on my mind that really kind of irks me, because one game that they were talking about, which made no sense to me. But we'll get into that in the next video. So until then, I'm Master 100, signing out next time. See you, everybody. Have an awesome day.